Ali Hashem, our correspondent who's covered Iran extensively, joins us here now in the studio. Good to speak to you, Ali. So what do we know has been hit just in the past hour or so in Tehran? Because we've been focusing a lot on these missile barrages on Tel Aviv. But just before that, we were speaking to our correspondent actually in Tehran. We were hearing explosions behind him. So do we know anything about those?
Well, there have been several attacks in Tehran, in Isfahan, at least in the past hours. The Iranian army is saying they intercepted one of the planes, or at least hit one of the planes. We need to see. There are no independent sources to confirm this, but this is what they're saying. It seems the Iranians have taken the initiative once again, in a way or another. They, given the fact they're using their defenses, regardless of how much efficient they are, but at least, yes, this morning, the news was that all defenses were destroyed. Now we're seeing defenses being used in Tehran, also in Tabriz. We saw pictures in Qom where a major nuclear facility was hit, Fordo. Also in Isfahan, there's another nuclear facility that was hit. So what we are seeing right now is waves and waves. Israeli waves since early morning, and now we are seeing Iranian waves. And the Iranian wave started just after the Iranian supreme leader gave his speech and vowed to revenge.
I mean, there's no doubt that they were taken by complete surprise this morning in these attacks, and they are now starting to calibrate their response.
Well, the issue is that how are they taken by surprise when the Israelis have been talking about this strike for the past couple of days, 48 hours. The Americans were warning them, the Omanis warned them. So, I mean, everyone was warning the Iranians, and they still thought that this is more of a psychological warfare. Now, this could be just media reports, because the way the commanders were killed, they were all killed in the war room. Most of them were killed in a meeting in the war room. Now, regardless of the details, because we need also to know more about how all these things are unraveled and how they happened. But it's clear that we are in the middle of war, an unprecedented war in the Middle East. This is not anything like what we saw in April or in October when Iran attacked Israel in retaliation to the killing of a general in Damascus, or when Iran attacked Israel once again in retaliation to the killing of Ismail Haniyeh in Iran, or the killing of Hassan Nasrallah. Today, there's an act of war that Israel committed against Iran, like actually destroying a lot of its defensive and nuclear facilities, killing its top echelon of commanders and nuclear scientists. So now, this is a war between two countries. It's been a long time since the Middle East has seen such images.
Absolutely, and it doesn't seem as if Netanyahu is in any mood to contain this. In fact, he seems to want the escalation.
Well, Prime Minister Netanyahu has been kind of preaching for years the idea of hitting the Iranian octopus at its head. And what we've been seeing over the past months, because this is not only related to Iran's nuclear program, it's related to Iran's posture in the region. And what's been happening over the past 9 months? The Israelis were able to clamp Iran's arms around the region, hit Hezbollah, neutralize the Iraqi militias in Iraq, hit Hamas, and of course the situation in Syria took a different direction. So this was the idea of hitting the arms and then hitting the head. And in Iran, it seems that the Israelis adopted the same strategy, whereas they started with hitting the regimes or the establishment's arms by killing the commanders and the nuclear scientists, and then heading towards the head. And this is why many observers are questioning whether this is a military campaign against Iran's nuclear facilities, or it's an attempt to collapse the regime.
There has been talk of that. I just want to just linger on this killing of 20 top commanders and the impact that that has in Iran, because we've heard of assassinations over the years in Iran and they've been taken very badly, but this is 20 top commanders. You say it's an extraordinary number. How much damage is that going to do to Iran?
Well, that's vast. That's vast. It's not easy, because the first thing that the Israelis did in this attack was overwhelming Iran's command and control. They were able to just dissect it in a way and cut the link, unlink it. So when it was unlinked, there was no possibility to retaliate immediately. Then we saw the Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei appointing successors to the commanders. And in few hours, it seems that they were able to regroup and to start their own, and to take the initiative and start hitting. But yet, those commanders are old soldiers. For example, Amir Ali Hajizadeh, who was the commander of the missile force. This guy, this person, has been the man in charge of Iran's missile capabilities, in rebuilding in the country's missile capabilities after the killing of Hassan Tehrani Muqaddam, who is the father of Iran's missile force. So these people have been in the military, have been in the IRGC for years. Hossein Salami is actually, I think he was going to retire by next year. Ghulam Ali Rashid is also deputy commander of the armed forces. Muhammad Baqiri, the armed forces commander. So these are all people with experience. And Iran was depending on them to initiate any kind of retaliation. They were hit. Now, there are other people in their places, and we are going to see how this war is going to continue.
Absolutely. OK, Ali, many thanks indeed for helping us follow all the developments that have been happening today.